When somebody does something really well, we say they nailed it. And could we say that about life? Have we got it sorted? Are we getting the most out of it? Do we know what we're doing? When I was younger, my attitude towards life was DIY, do it yourself. And I would say my drive was that I really wanted people to like me. I was one of those kids that grew up going to church. But for me, it wasn't a real thing. It just seemed like a habit that we were all doing. A couple of friends of mine at school, when I was becoming a teenager, invited me to a Sunday afternoon youth group run by some Christians. And so I went along and made a lot of good friends there and had a really great social time. So much so that when they talked about the summer camp coming up, I signed myself up. So when I was 13 years old, I took myself off for this 10-day camp in rural England. So this camp was a lot of fun. We played games and we had a lot of laughs there. But in the evenings, we had a meeting that would be taken by a real down-to-earth guy, and he would talk about how he knew Jesus in his life. And he talked about how Jesus had died for us and had died for me to take away the wrongdoings that we had done and I had done in my life. He had been nailed to a cross to do this, to pay for my wrongdoings. And I was blown away by this idea that God would send his son, Jesus, to do this for me. He valued me that much, that he would sacrifice his son for me. Jesus was literally nailed to the cross. He nailed it so that I could have friendship with God. And I more fully appreciated what God had done for me, and I responded by wanting to invite Jesus to come into my life and become the boss of my life. So it was less DIY and more following of Jesus. So life did not suddenly get better by any stretch, but I did have a deeper sense of purpose and direction for my life. That need for people to like me was fading away. I once had somebody show me a genuine Roman construction nail, the kind of nail that would have been used at the crucifixion of Jesus. And this idea of the love of God came flooding back to me once again. I was talking to a blacksmith friend of mine more recently, and he loves working with metal, but he's not a churchgoer or anything like that. But he and I talked about my nail story. And so the next time that I saw him, he gave me 4 replica Roman construction nails that he'd made for me. Now these nails sit proudly on my workstation to remind me of the depth of love that God has for me. Jesus nailed the rescue plan for my life, and now I live in reference to him, and I try to live by his great life code that he's given. So, how about your life? He's nailed it for you too.